Hello rum fans, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got the holy grail of rum, Plantation XO. Now that was a tongue-in-cheek statement, but I said it for a reason because I probably just filtered the audience that are going to stay on and watch the rest of this video just like that, with that one sentence, because of a lot of the Foursquare, a lot of the sort of the 5% as I call them, would have probably switched off straight away because they would have assumed that I'm now going to give you an unbiased review of this. And I promise you, I'm just going to try and tell it how it is. But you know, I can't deny sort of 3 years now of this channel where I've confessed my undying love for this for the last 10 years or so. You know, I adore this rum. It is a great rum. But we are going to put it to the test. The price is going to become a factor of this. The whole purpose of these deep dives is for me to try and educate myself about a country in particular. So we did Jamaica in the last couple of months. Now we're in Barbados this month. I want to educate myself, go through the journey. So start off with the cheap rums, go up to the more expensive rums, and kind of try and find my one favourite if possible. The moment these are fought off, as I say, you know, 14 other rums become, this is my favourite neat sipper at the moment, and that's my favourite kind of cocktail rum. I ideally like one rum if possible, but that may not be possible. And I'll be honest, you know, these rums have fought off other competition that may be slightly better purely on price. You know, the recent sort of competition to those was actually the Cockspur XO. But again, I can't justify, it's not £20 and $25 better than those. It is, in my opinion, slightly better, but not £20, $25 better, if you like. So we are still with the Plantation 5-year-old and the Dawley's 5-year-old as my two go-to rums. And this is the third XO rum. We've done the Dawley's XO, we've just done the Cockspur, we've got the Mount Gay XO to come straight after this. And this is still, you know, I might open this now actually, just to kind of give it a little bit of air and a little bit of bottle pop, just so we can kind of give it a proper tasting. Let's talk about the price of this. So I've got it highlighted, best part of £52 in the UK. Now, I have the limit on my channel of £50. I've said with inflation and all that, we are going to sort of have to adjust that. It's £50, $60, 60 euros. We are going to adjust that slightly. So there's a couple here coming that sort of do break that, but kind of break it loosely. I'm still never going to really pay much attention to 75, 80, £100 rums. They're really doesn't interest me in the slightest. The 5% can have them. Let's talk to the other 95% of like rum consumers, and like, you know, I know a lot of people have bought this rum. Now to me, I think it's because I'm so used to this rum. I can see 3 empty bottles there, the other side of the camera, that I've had of this over the last couple of years or so. You know, I'm just used to this rum, and to me, I know the Foursquare camp are going to be kind of about it, but to me, this is what I associate Barbados rum with, rightly or wrongly. You know, yes, I know it's dosed. We have got 20 grams of sugar per litre in here. Plantation are open and honest about that. They're not trying to pull the wool over your eyes. They tell you it's dosed. But as I say, there's a reason why I do think, this is not fact, but I think it's pretty much near as damn it true. I think this is the biggest selling rum out of Barbados. And I think it's the biggest selling premium rum, definitely in the UK market as well. I think that's kind of, there might be some different terminology around there, but the volumes this sells at are huge on a global scale, and I mean huge. Not Bacardi Casablanca huge, but premium rum, considering it's £50, considering it's that sort of price, the volumes this sells at are huge. So their Plantation, Maison France, are doing something right with this rum. Just because a small percentage don't like it because it's dosed, doesn't mean to say it's a bad rum. It's a flipping epic rum. So let's get on to the aromas. You know, this just jumps out at you. As I say, I'm going to try and give you my unbiased opinions here coming up because, you know, I'm just going to tell you how it is. So on the aromas, we've got vanilla, we've got tropical fruit, we've got pineapple, we've got banana coming off there, we've got, you know, the vanilla comes back again. There's a little bit of sort of wood oakiness at the back there, not much because I dare say that sugar's sort of, you know, sort of, what's the word, hiding it. That's not the word I'm looking for, but I'm masking it. There we go. I'd say the sugar's kind of sort of masking that woody, peppery bite that you might get off it. There's definitely caramel there. You know, it's got everything going on to it. Comparing this to the Cockspur XO, it's just a whole different beast. It's completely and utterly different beast. And I don't know whether that's got anything to do with the barrels. Again, I could have, I think they're pretty standard barrels this has been aged in. Probably a little bit of cognac aging at the end, you know, as Plantation do with a lot of their rums. But it's a completely and utterly different beast to that Cockspur XO. Just to run you through other people's tasting notes, so just so you get a clearer picture of what's going on here. Vanilla, caramel, coconut, sweet, yeah, of course. Tropical, fruits, banana, fruity, woody, spice, oak, burnt sugar, creme brulee. Creme brulee is a great shout, actually. That's a really good shout on there. Cinnamon. Oh, I'm not sure about the cinnamon that I'd get off there. Delicious. We've got a glue. I don't really get alcohol, ethanol, sort of that glue estery vibe coming off that at all in the slightest. Brown sugar, yes, I could relate to that. Citrus, orange, I could definitely relate to the orange in there. Definitely relate to that. And a bit of butterscotch, but that's enough chatting. Let's get drinking. And there's just one thing I want to say here as well. I think a lot of people do understand this, but people see the 20 on here. This is not a 20-year-old rum. It quite clearly says on the bottle it's not a 20-year-old rum. You know, it's the 20th anniversary of Alexandra Gabriel owning Maison Ferrand. That's what it's there for. It's just purely an XO rum. I think if you go onto the Plantation website, you know, they'll give you the DNA of this rum, of what's in there. You know, it's not massively old rums. There is a little bit of aged rums in there, like longer aged rums in there, but it's just a generic XO, you know, it's just does what it does. There's two things else I want to say here. Its downfall, for probably some, is that it's just a 40% rum. It perhaps could do with a little bit of bump in ABV. But the massive plus side for a lot of people, it's a 40% rum. You know, it swings and roundabouts. Do you want to do well as a business, or do you want to please a small minority? You know, by pleasing a small minority, you don't really have a sustainable business unless that small minority is on a massive, large scale. You know, they please the mass market. It is a fantastic mass market rum. And I think everything that I've taken, that smell, comes out on the palate. I would put banana as the fruit. I would put the banana first. It's definitely banana forward for me. But there's vanilla. The sugar definitely does mask the wood. So here's the thing. I can give you like a downside to it. You know, if you're coming from whiskey world, you potentially won't get on with this because that sugar does mask that barrel woody kind of vibe. It's there. There's a little bit there. Don't get me wrong. But the sugar kind of does mask that. So that might not be what you're looking for. And if you are, I always say this, look, if you are coming from whiskey world, if you like rums with grunt, if you like rums with body, and you like wet wood and all that sort of stuff, you will be in the Foursquare camp. You will be 100%. I'm actually looking forward again to, I know the RLC will be behind me the 10. I'm looking forward to that. I love that rum as well. But I'm looking forward to going back into the Dawley's 12 and the Mount Gay XO, because I don't think I've had that properly in quite a few years. But like the Dawley's 12 and the Dawley's 14, just to sort of see how my palate has acclimatized, and do I like those proper undosed, aged, long-aged rums. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But at the moment, my palate really does sip here. The other thing with this, there's a honey orangey. There's a honey that you could get. I forget what it is now, but it's like, is it orange blossom? Is that what I'm thinking of? Orange blossom honey? There's a honey that really does give you like massive orange vibes. It might be orange blossom. I don't know whether I've just made that up now. But it kind of reminds me that I like my honey. Love honey. Absolutely love honey. It kind of reminds me of that, but tropical fruits, banana, tiny bit of wood, tiny bit of vanilla in there. There's so many different layers to it. I understand why it sells so much. I really do. And just to give you other people's tasting notes, vanilla, sweet, caramel, coconut, banana, woody, toffee, round honey, tropical fruits, butterscotch. Again, yeah, I can relate to all of these. Brown sugar, again, spice. That's probably one I wouldn't pick out as a touch there. If you're not used to neat rum, then you would probably say, oh, there's a bit of barrel spice in there. But if you are used to neat rum, there's no spice on that, really. No barrel spice coming through. Caramelized sugar, oak, creme brulee, dark chocolate. Oh, dark chocolate, that's an interesting one. I'm not relating to that. Yeah, I'm not relating to that at all. Dark chocolate, fruity, and alcoholic. No, not alcoholic. Not. There was another one. Did I see glue in there, or have I just made that up? I don't think there's. I think I've just made that up. I don't think there's anything in there. That's what I said previously. You know, its downside that it is just 40%. It's tame. It's, you know, for some people that like higher ABV stuff, this is very, very tame. But for the mass market, this is bang on the money. Absolutely phenomenal. Without even adding sugar to it, that's gone. I knew it was going to happen straight away. You know, that's just... And there's the reason. Even Plantation know that. Even Plantation know that doesn't compete. I'm sorry, but even at what, 20? Where are we? 20? They're side by side. So 31.90, so 32, 20 pounds, which is roughly what, $24. Where are we? 40? Yeah, about 20 pounds, $24. I would still much rather pay that extra 20 pounds and have that as an out and out neat sipper. That's really good. Don't get me wrong. It is really good. But I'd much rather have that. But the question is, does it work in cocktails? And if I've just got one rum, you know, is that going to be adequate enough for me in cocktails? So let's find out. So without getting too carried away, let's just have a sort of, you know, an honest, you know, appraisal. At the end of the day, I do make a lot of cocktails and I'm looking to try and help you with cocktails. I'm not just trying to be selfish here. I'm trying to help you at the same time. So this is an interesting experience for me as a rum fashioned with sugar. I don't think I've ever added sugar to that as a rum fashioned. This is very interesting because would I drink that? No, I wouldn't. It's now just too sweet. Now, here's the thing. If you are not used to neat rum, that becomes delicious. That becomes so on your wavelength. But I genuinely can't finish that. That for me has, I want it neat. Honestly, I just want it neat. And it's the merest like dashes of sugar. Again, you know, I'm talking like 1 ml, maybe 2 ml at a push in there with a little bit of water. It's just because it's only 40%, it's just too tame. It's a lovely session rum fashioned, if that's a thing. You know, you're just going to drink it, and it's. I'm not saying that I'm a massive cask strength fan. I love like going to the UK stuff. You know, the 63s. I kind of love them, but 57s and all that. I kind of do enjoy them, neat and daiquiris and things like that. This with sugar and a bit of ice dilution just becomes like water, if that makes sense. And I'm not trying to big myself up here. It just does. I want it neat. And I'm not in the 5%. I'm not one of those that loves all that sort of massive barrel aging. So you can kind of judge where I'm sitting here. I think mass market, yes, you probably, if you're going to drink it neat, you probably want a sugar and a bit of dilution in there. But for me, it's just too much. For me, it's just wasted that rum. Completely wasted that rum. Now again, this is delicious, but it falls down the same trap as what the Plantation 5-year-old does. It's not a cocktail rum. You're not going to pay, and I know the vast majority, you're not going to pay £50, what, $62 for a cocktail rum. A lot of you won't. Some of you more affluent might, but a lot of you won't. It loses its character. For me, it is a neat sipper. And I'm in between the 5% and the 95%. I'm sort of on that sort of border of, I get what the 5% are talking about, but the 95% mass market. So connoisseurs to mass market, I kind of get the wavelength. I'm on their wavelength with the 5%. I would never buy that as a cocktail rum. It's just, if I want cocktails, and bearing in mind, yes, I've got a lot of experience as a cocktail bartender. I just want, if I'm using something, right, here's to dumb it right down. If I'm using that in a cocktail, I might as well use a lighter column still, Puerto Rico, you know, Dominican Republic, something like that. The character of these don't really shine through in a cocktail. They will make a lovely cocktail, but there are better rums from other countries, Jamaica, Guyana, St. Lucia. There are other rums that would give you more character to a cocktail than what they do. Where these come into their own is neat sipping. So again, I'm still not down to one rum. There is potential coming. And actually, the Mount Gay XO coming, I'm still not down to one rum, but at the moment, the Plantation XO has dethroned the 5-year-old from Plantation there. Let's dive into the next one.